trying to get this thing together. Maybe it's this light over here. Come on. You want to do this the whole time? Oh, no. That's too much light at that light. Okay, maybe that's some of it. Okay. Okay, so SJWs, it is true that they sometimes, or I don't know if I should say it's true that they do that, but sometimes they add more to plenty for a bunch of different reasons. React. I'm not going to say that they blow things out of proportion. And there's a reason I'm not going to say that. I can't even explain why I'm not going to say that right now. But I understand how people could see them as being ones who add more to plenty. I understand how the victim mentality can be seen as not healthy, and it's not. However, it's also not a healthy thing and somewhat abusive to invalidate people's victimhood. Because if somebody is experiencing something every day that is not comfortable, that is not that doesn't serve their well-being, that hurts them, then that is abuse. And anybody who's been abused or anybody who's being abused is a victim. But the thing about a lot of SJWs and a lot of the people who consider themselves oppressed, they wallow in their victimhood and they take pride in it, and they take pride in staying in it, and that is not healthy. The role of your victimhood in your life is to be in your life, for you to recognize it, and for you to ultimately find ways to heal from it, but to also recognize that it does exist, not to invalidate it, not to allow other people to invalidate it, and it's nobody else's position to invalidate your victimhood or your victim. Yeah, your victim state. Can I say that? I don't know if victimhood is the right word, a victim state. But I understand how people find, or why people find SJWs annoying. However, at some point you have to start to question, why do you find these SJWs so annoying? Okay? Because you're only annoyed by something if it's triggering something inside of you deep down. If it's gnawing at a existing some existing pain you have inside of you, some existing hold on. Some existing I don't know, something that's stuck inside of you that is being triggered by these so-called SJWs. A lot of people who are annoyed by SJWs, you're suffering from guilt and you're suffering from shame, and you want them to shut up so you could escape that pain and that shame and that guilt. Okay. um Basically that's what it is, you know, because if people are speaking about their pain and what they experience from their point of view and from their perspective, you are not, as somebody else as who does not live their life, you're not in any position to discredit or to invalidate their stance and their experiences. Okay. And maybe some, not maybe, some SJWs, they take things too far. I don't want to say they overreact, and I don't want to say they blow things out of proportion, but sometimes I understand how you could see them as taking things too far. I'm trying to think about right now the psychology of why they think they take things too far. Um, I think some people just overcompensate, you know, because of their own fear. The SJW this time is what I'm speaking of. That SJW is overcompensating, i.e., taking things too far because they're trying to overcompensate for maybe their own guilt. You see how you know they're like the same kind of thing. They're like two sides of the same coin. On one hand, the non SJW, they hate the SJWs. They're trying to escape the the um, the pain of the shame and the guilt, and then the SJW is taking things too far because it's their own way of trying to overcompensate for the guilt that they're feeling. So um, you got to question why you're so annoyed by the SJW, and the SJW has to question why they are so extremely, you're so extreme sometimes. They become somewhat extremist in their views. Sometimes, the whole, and it's like a groupthink thing for the SJW. They're just trying to overcompensate because whatever the group says is right to do is what they start to do. you know, and it's a way to build this resentment towards the non-SJW. It's a way of them trying to feel like they're good people, to bypass the fact that they too have demons, they too have shadows that they're not looking at. They too, they're very much like the people that they're against, the people they complain about, the people that that they believe is oppressing them and is victimizing them. They're very much like these people, and they don't want to deal with that. So in order for them to feel some kind of a justification, to feel some kind of power, to bypass their shame and their guilt, and the pain that they feel because of that, they just kind of overcompensate with just going too far with the whole political correctness, the whole I don't know, social policing, the whole SJW movement things. They go over above and beyond. And sometimes it's just like, really? You're doing all of that? It's just, it becomes like it's too much. So, these are the reasons why, people are annoyed by the SJW. They're afraid to look at themselves. That's another thing. The shame and the guilt is one thing, but they're afraid to look in the mirror. They're afraid to look at themselves for the guilt and the shame, the existence of the guilt and the shame that exists within them. because they're afraid of the responsibility that they're going to have to take to make changes to become better people. So both them and the SJW could exist in a different reality, right? So they're afraid of facing the guilt, they're afraid of facing the shame, and they're afraid of the responsibility that it's going to take to make changes. They're afraid to see that they're wrong, and that's another thing. They want to be right because they've been holding a certain stance for such a long time. I stand for this thing, and I'm right about standing for it, and I can't stand the idea of being wrong. You know, and the SJW, they themselves are afraid of being wrong too, because really they're the same. They represent the same different coins of this different sides of the same coin. That's something that people need to look into. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say about that, but let me just talk about any progression that I made today. Today, I think I discovered one reason why I feel such a holdback in my system when I get on camera. I really need to lose weight. You know, my breasts are really not that big as they look at the camera. The camera is really making my breasts look extremely big. God, it's horrible. I'm really not. It's really not that big, y'all. It's really not. Oh, dear God. But today I discovered that what really my thoughts aren't flowing to me when I get on camera is it goes back to a trauma that I and a series of trauma of my father. You know, whenever he would start to talk in the house or talk to me, I would feel this shutdown in my body, this fear and this shutdown. This something telling me that I if I speak, if I say anything, I'm going to be shut down even more. You know, like it's telling me that I if I speak, I wrote it down here. I'm afraid to speak to him because I'm going to be shut down, and I'm going to be in trouble with him, and I'm going to be in trouble with him even more. And if I say anything, something is coming to me now. If I say anything, anything I say is going to be used against me. Or I can't speak my truth. I'm writing that down. I can't speak my truth. I can't tell him how I really feel. I have to suppress the anger, the fear, the anger. Why? I'll get in trouble. Because I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. And if I get in trouble, what will happen? If I get in trouble with him, what will happen to me? He's going to reprimand me. And if he reprimands me, what happens? If he reprimands me, then I'm powerless. I'll be and I'm powerless. I'm defenseless. I'm going to be maybe humiliated. embarrassed, shamed. Why is it so bad to be shamed, to be embarrassed, to be humiliated, to be powerless? I'm going to be, he's going to hit me. Um, gonna hit me, and it might, I'm gonna cry. And if I cry, it's embarrassment, it's shame. It's the fear of being powerless. Yeah, I can't recover from that. I can't recover. Can't cover. If I can't recover from it, then I'm dead. I'm dead. I don't get to shine. Mm. This is me doing my mind probing. This is mind probing, by the way, or a form of what they call shadow work. I die, I don't get to shine. Happiness. We're so afraid of death. You know, every fear is a fear of death, by the way. Every fear is a fear of death. Every fear we have is a fear of death. Every time we feel negative feeling inside of us, it's a fear of death. You know, but why are we so afraid of death? We're afraid of death because death represents darkness, represents I'm done. It's the ego. The ego is afraid of this death. If I'm gone, then I don't get to shine. I don't get to. If I'm gone, if I'm gone, I hate this. My breast is just looking way too big, and it's really not that big as it appears. Get this fucking light. I have to find a way to make this better. Hmm. Why are we so? If I'm dead, I'm gone. It's a fear of not experiencing beauty. The beauty that we want. We want beauty. You're being ugly. Fear of insignificance. We're not seen. We're not loved. We're not included. We're not there. We're not heard. We're not seen. It's annihilation. It's gone. Why is that so bad? Why is that so bad for us? It's really bad for us. It feels bad because really it just feels bad. It feels bad to our emotional system because the ego, this is its main objective. So it's giving our body so much pain when we feel like we're closer to it, closer to death, closer to annihilation, closer to pain, closer to darkness, closer to ugliness. It's that pain we're afraid of. We're afraid of the pain. We're afraid of the death because we're afraid of the pain. Damn. The pain that we believe is within death, but there is no pain, see. The ego is afraid of that. Or should I say emotional system gives us the pain. I think I'm going to sign on right now. I can't think of anything else to say. I think I want to go work on myself and fix my hair, wash my face, and go to bed. Have a great night.